All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is July 10th, 2024, 19 a.m. And we're at Darien Town Hall, room 119, and welcome to the Darien Beautification Commission meeting. This morning we have a guest with us, Charlotte. Is Maria sitting here? And I'd like to call the meeting to order. So first thing we'll do is review and approve the minutes from last month, June 12th. Does anybody have any, thank you Elizabeth for doing that, being our secretary. And does anybody have any comments, changes, any revisions? No? We're good? Can I have a motion to approve minutes? Great, thank you. All right. Moving along. Thank you for the treasurer's report. Yeah, thank you. Tracy, why don't you take us through this?
All right, well, we spent a lot of money this month, and it was all good. We ordered 4 new benches for the front, 2 to replace the crappy ones, and then 2 new ones. We ordered 3 new urns. Those are probably coming in the next 2 weeks, so maybe by our next meeting they'll all be in. We ordered, I got a whole bunch of new plants to put in. We did a bunch of stuff at the Amy Smile Garden because it was looking pretty sparse. So we fixed that up, put some more planting in here. So we used a lot of money. Elder's been busy cleaning gardens, and his next venture, he'll be doing a lot of the mulching. He'll freshen up again and just mulch, so that'll be good. So you can see, looking at our report, we had $9,738 to start the month, and our closing fiscal year ended at $16.27.
Right.
So
on. Nice job, everyone.
Not bad. We also ordered the wreaths for the front door, and then I had a wonderful brainstorm. I said, why not just do these 2 doors as well? So Melissa was nice enough to also order those as well. So now we'll have 3 wreaths up for the winter, for Christmas, and we don't have to keep replacing them because they'll be artificial. Mm-hmm. So that will look nice, and they're excited. The At Home in Darien group right here, Chris is so excited. He goes, well, do you want me to contribute to that? No, I'll pitch you for something else. I'll pitch you for something else. So.
And where will they be stored, the wreaths?
They're in my basement.
They're in your basement. Are you okay keeping them there for a while? Okay, great.
I also have the tools for the bulbs.
Yep.
Yes, great.
Also in my basement. So whenever anybody needs them, just arrange with me and I can meet you.
Yeah, just for the record, I know you still have the banner.
I do.
And if we ever need bucket replacements, all those are in my garage. So for that Wheat Beach bucket. Yeah, you have the bulbs.
And the chain
buckets. So at the beach cleanup station.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's kind of like a charity project between us and Park and Rec. So those buckets, if anybody ever wonders, on the record, those buckets are in my garage.
I have no basement, so I can't store anything.
Great, thank you so much for that. So we no longer need to discuss last year's budget. Talking about next year's budget, we should stay on top of that. We don't need to launch into it this month, but I will bring it up because I feel like we should really make an effort, every month to sort of think about how we plan it so we don't get a little crazy at the end. So unless anybody else, anything to discuss on that, any ideas that are new?
Well, I think we have, ongoing gardens we need to freshen up, so.
Okay. Like our existing, you mean this one?
This one's in pretty good shape, because Colleen and I did a major cleanup 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
So we did tackle a whole lot of the vine, and we pruned a lot of stuff back, and so we got a lot of that stuff done. But, and also too, as you know, last month we did the berm.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Elizabeth, I'd like to take some of the plants that are over at the berm and relocate them over to the Amy Smile Garden and have Elder pull all those dead-looking junipers that are kind of creeped and look gross by the road, on the corner of the road and the driveway at Amy Smile.
At Amy Smile, okay.
So we'd like to, use Elder to dig some of that bigger stuff out. We'll work with him and move some of that over there. So we don't lose it, at least it will, we've got some red twig dogwoods and verbena and things that we can move, and some, I think we have some plethora in there. And so we'll recycle.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
On to Instagram, website, email, correspondence.
I actually have an update here.
All right.
I have been speaking with Linda O'Leary, and I'm just gonna kind of run through this. So in terms of updating our terms, which should be easy but is not. So Elizabeth Hall, I do not have this is coming from Linda. This is not coming from me. So I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I do not have an application for reappointment. Her term is current on the website.
Oh, see, I thought that they did that, like
It's okay,
kind of
I'm
for
just-
me.
Yeah, I'm just
Thank
letting you
you.
know. Yeah,
All right.
just letting you know. Amanda, I have her application, but she has not interviewed with the BOS for reappointment yet. Her term is current on the website. Alicia, I have her application, but she has not interviewed with the BOS. Her term is current on the website.
Who do we
What's that mean,
interview with?
term is current on the website?
So, meaning that I updated your terms to 2026
Okay.
because it was just 3 years after your last appointment. But she won't update them until you're official by the town. Right,
Wait,
Well,
okay.
we filled out a form that I did and sent in, that, they never said I could do it.
Because you have, so you've got the paperwork done, you now need to sit before the Board of Selectmen, and that next meeting isn't until the fall, so that's probably the holdup.
And they
So-
won't let us update the website until then.
Until then, so the terms are, Elizabeth, yours still says 2020, Colleen 2022. Alyssa, you're 2026, you're good.
Well, that's because I just joined.
Exactly, I
Yeah.
know. Alicia, 2023, November. Amanda, November 2023, Tracy, 2022.
So just want to let you know, it's not for lack of trying to get them updated, it's just this is the current status.
Yeah,
So
sure.
So for Tracy, she says, updating is not a term, because I wanted her to like read pending on the terms, because y'all are sitting here. And so she says that even if the terms are expired, they must remain official dates. So that's the reason that almost all of you need to sit before the Board of Selectmen.
Wow.
And same with you, Colleen.
Will they even do that, do you think, in one meeting if there's like 5 of us?
That's up to Linda to schedule
That's a
it.
chunk of time,
Like,
I
when
bet
will they,
they'll split it out.
Will they inform,
Yeah.
or like, we have to report, like, when's
So
the
what I
day or
can,
week?
what I'm happy to do for you guys is I can just respond to her email and let her know that we will like to go before the Board of Selectmen, but is there a time we could do it at one fell swoop, because we have 4 of you that need to.
5, I think.
5. Well, and so then Kristen,
And mine's this November.
Can't
I
they have one of
imagine
them
yours,
down here?
Is gone.
yeah, so
Yeah.
she was asking me about Kristen, but I thought she was gone.
Maybe we could have a board of selectmen come here
Maybe.
to one of our meetings.
Maybe
and
that's
just go,
possible.
You're done, you're done, you're done.
So,
I know.
I'm not sure if she's the right contact for that.
Okay.
I'm the only term that is currently current.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we could all leave you.
that would be sad for me. The town would be pink. Everything would be pink. Okay, so
I
that,
think the main problem was we got caught behind that whole thing with the Great Island.
Yeah.
And they had so many interviews to do
Yeah.
that it just put a
I
lot
just
of our
wanted
stuff
to let
on
you
hold.
know where we stood since it
Thank
was
you.
my project to work
Thank
on. So I'll let her know that we're all waiting to go before it, but until you guys are all approved, that website is going to be incorrect.
Okay.
That's the update. The other update I had on the website was that, I know we've talked about the fact that a lot of that data is old and not exciting, but I thought maybe one thing we could do is, we still have the old Adopt a Garden program, is just one paragraph. I thought maybe what we could do, or as, in our meetings, we could move that paragraph up and then say, we're in the process of redesigning this Adopt a Garden program. If anyone has any ideas or suggestions of how, whatever, please write into us. And that way, I don't know, it's just something current that we're doing, at least,
That's a good idea.
we're working on
Good idea.
something. And then, but it would fall directly after our names, so you don't have to like scroll down, because it is a current thing that we're working on.
Exactly. Could you also add in there our Instagram
Of course.
handle, please? It's
Yeah.
not in there. And it'd be great. They can also,
Let me just
and
make
please,
it up
and
to
follow
myself.
us on social at
Okay, let me just make a note for that. And then the other thing I was gonna say is, I was thinking about, underneath the Adopt a Garden thing, maybe saying like, improvements we've made this year, and then just adding some of these line items.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Mhm.
Thank you.
When will the benches arrive?
He said they should be pretty quick, so probably next week. So, and then I have the 210-pound urns each coming in sometime in the next week or
But
two
you don't
as
have to
well.
lift those, right? They're gonna deliver them and put them
They're
where they
gonna
need to
deliver
be.
them, and then I have to, they're gonna just deliver them curbside. And then I have to see if I can get Ed's group too.
Well, I'm
Are
sure
those
they'd be
swapping
happy
out
to help you.
next to the front entrance?
No. No,
They're
we're
just
adding,
Oh.
adding, because we put two new benches on this side.
Yeah.
Benches are really nice.
Yeah.
They're gonna look really nice.
Can
And
you
there's-
let me know when they're in, just so I can photograph them, and thank you.
They're gonna anchor them as well, so they will be faceted to the ground. So we don't have to worry about kids knocking them over or whatever. And then they're also gonna have a plaque on them, and it's gonna say something to the effect, I think I sent to Chris, a gift from the Darien Beautification Commission and Seasons 2, because they're giving them to us at cost.
Nice.
So, yeah, and we don't pay tax because we have tax exempt. And then the urns, you know, I already have the dirt to go in them on June 28th. I made sure I got that, but we'll have to just put some temporary angles or something in there, so there's something in them until fall.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Thank you. We received, anything on Instagram?
No.
Update? Yeah.
That's just why I asked about that. I'll share that once those benches are in.
Can you see how many people really look at our Instagram? Like
No, only if they like something, that's it, no views. I'm sure if you register probably as a business page, you probably get that marketing data, but no.
And we received an email inquiry about someone wanting to do a memory tree. They had a friend who's experienced a loss, and we're asking if they could do something to memorialize that, some donation. But it needs to go through the same process that our Adopt Our Gardens go through, Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen, and RTM.
Did they say where they want to put it?
No, they were just looking for ideas, and I asked how much, and it was like, I don't know, 75, 100. So we don't have any system in place for that.
Like a
That's
tiny
very
tree.
low. I mean, what
Yeah.
are they?
Where can we
Yeah.
put that little twig?
I mean,
So, I mean, it's a lovely idea, and maybe we come up with a
plant
a
something in their
plan.
backyard. Tell them.
Right, yeah, I mean, I think the idea was maybe they could even buy a plant and put it somewhere, but
And
It gets
Sarah,
a little
would they go
complicated.
through that process? We wouldn't have to do that for them, right?
no, I think we do, because it's a donation, and a donation is a gift, and that's, the gift has to go through the process.
But if it's a private citizen not on this commission, why do we have involvement in it?
It's true, maybe they could just, maybe that's a great suggestion. I basically ended up just forwarding it along to ask, and then I said, I can tell you a little bit more about this, and she said, can I call you next week? So it might fizzle anyway. But
Yeah.
I thought it was worth bringing up because, let's say someone else wanted to do something a little bit more significant. I don't know whether we want to have something in place, or maybe keep a little list in the back of our heads of things that could be done.
Because then I worry that if we, again, if it's a private citizen wanting to do this on some sort of public property, how it fits in with us, and then are we responsible for watering it or pruning it? I just don't even know that we should be involved in it.
Good point. I think they were inquiring as if we have a program, which we
Yeah.
don't. And I guess the reason we don't is because it's complicated, it's not a straightforward process. So I have a feeling this will just kind of,
And then
Yeah.
think of all the other
Just
people
right.
going forward would want to say, oh, can I donate a tree? I lost
Right.
someone, I can donate
Right.
it. And we could have all these random little trees all around.
well, and that's the thing, and I think that's why it needs to go through some kind of town
Review process of
review
some
process, which
Yeah.
makes sense to me. You can't just have people plopping trees all over or whatever, plants with a little
sort.
sign
I thought
next
there are
to
worse
it.
things.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
and unfortunately, I think all those hoops will probably, especially if you're grieving, I think the last thing you wanna do is like this process of BOS, BOF, like you'd be like, I give up, never mind.
Well, I also do think that it's probably a concern that we should address, because if people, just like we talked about, if people find the process difficult, then nobody will want to do it with
Right.
money.
Which is bettering the town.
Right, so, I know that we have to go through all these hoops, but what is it that we can do to streamline? Who do we need to reach out to streamline these processes?
Sarah's doing it.
Sarah is doing it. Sarah does everything.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, I think that it is, like, there is this process for a reason, so it's the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, RTM, as we know. Now, I was willing to, when we meet before, with the Board of Finance, which we'll get to that later about that meeting, but, I was willing to bring this up, but, I don't know if we, I don't know any other way around it to streamline it, to be fair. What I was gonna get back to this woman and suggest, however, was that if we end up getting approval to do this Adopt a Garden process, and if we end up deciding that the best way to fundraise is through bricks, which is where I'm leaning right now, because it gives somebody something tangible, we could then go back to anybody, for example, like this person, and say, but you have the opportunity to buy a brick in memory of somebody.
That's lovely, and I
And
feel
it's
like
like
that's such
a
a great
great,
program.
exactly. So I think that that is a way of handling it. And perhaps, and what's nice about this brick program is that I haven't actually figured out the whole square footage and how many we can fit in this little garden, et cetera, et cetera. But if we're able to, and we can't fill them all in, they'll provide blanks, and then if we get more money in, we can have them buy a brick and replace a blank with a brick. So that's kind of a cool idea too. That gives us an option to, if people want to give extra money, to keep replacing bricks.
That's amazing.
Right,
Yeah.
that's fabulous.
Okay, great. All right, great.
So, and what garden are we using these bricks in? Is that the one?
So that, the one
By
by
the
the
fire
fire station, and Ed said, because I've already run it by Ed, nothing's official at all, but I ran it by him and he said, I think that's a nice idea and I think DOT would be okay with that. So what's nice is that our current footprint there is quite small, it's only 10 by 10, but there's the opportunity to use a lot more of that space, and we could potentially, I don't know if we want to, but brick in almost all of it if we wanted to. So that gives us a lot of room. So to get more donations.
Expandable donations.
Expandable donations. So
I love
that's
that.
my thought
I
there.
love
Okay, good. Okay, so moving along, weeding and pruning report. It sounds like you guys just kind of gave us, there's been a lot going on, you guys have been busy.
Well,
Amy's
we
smile.
have been, Colleen and I are just a force to be reckoned with. She, and Elizabeth too, when she's not traveling.
Sorry.
Our globetrotter. But we, like I said, we cleaned a whole bunch of stuff out of this garden over here. Colleen and I have been trying to stay on top of the Veterans Circle and the raised beds. We need a little help there. We were weeding yesterday morning early and it was so hot.
Yeah.
But, we could use a little help if anyone wants to pitch in and just pull some of that stuff in the circle. We
Some yarrow. That was very
we planted yarrow yesterday, so there's additional yarrow in the front of those monuments there, and it just happened to continue being yellow. So, no, but,
What do you say it happened to contain?
well, because we had yellow yarrow in there before, so
Oh.
we just added more yellow
Yellow,
instead
okay,
of
because it's already.
mixing up a different
Okay.
color. What else have we done?
We pruned back all of those trees, all of the bushes, like
Yeah.
down in that corner there. We weeded. I mean,
Yeah, we had a lot. And Colleen's been heading over to the Norotan train station. She keeps that endless task of pulling milkweed and butterfly weed. So,
Did you
but
guys mulch there?
yeah, actually Ed had mulch delivered and Elder and his wife and I spread mulch to, when we put the garden in. So it's starting to everything's starting to settle in and it's starting to look really pretty. And we always, whenever we're at one of the gardens, people always comment, so it's nice to hear.
It's so nice. Some lady yesterday walked by and she was like, this looks so pretty. And it's worth it when you're out there and somebody.
And the hydrangeas this year
They're
look
gorgeous.
great.
They're beautiful.
I wish the rhodies were better, but we'll fertilize them again. I still have Hollytone, and we'll do some more fertilizing. Like in September, I'll fertilize the hydrangeas and the rhodies again, and I'm gonna put out a little bit of the dead stuff. But yeah, no, I think it looks good. I mean, everything's really filling in. I mean, the hydrangeas are spectacular this year. They're just, my happy flowers.
I love
My happy
So great, and they look so great this year.
Yeah, they do.
Thank
So-
you, that's terrific.
And
Yeah.
also on Elder, I can tell you what Elder has been. He did the Amy Smile Garden last week. He did that memorial plaque by
Oh,
Dunkin' Donuts there,
the
by the bench.
World War
Yeah.
Memorial, yeah.
There's not much there, and we
It's-
could put something there, but
I know. I mean, we gotta be careful because there's that bench there. But yeah,
even maybe a plethora or something. I mean, it could use something there.
do you know if mulch went down there? Did
I'm not
mulch go down?
positive.
Okay.
Ed's got mulch for us though, and what
And he was willing to put it down.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't know if you guys do know what we're talking about. No, sorry. So,
Over by Dunkin'
Linda at
Donuts.
Town Hall or John Z's office got a request that there was a World War memorial rock right next to Dunkin' Donuts on the Post Road in the triangle that's right near the Darien.
between
You
the
know
entrance
when you
exit.
go up
I know
that
where you're
steep
talking
hill?
about, yeah.
There's
Right
a
there.
bus stop and a bench, and there's a rock behind it with a memorial on it, and it got all overgrown, and someone was complaining. They went to, anyway, it ended up on our desk, and it wasn't necessarily us, but I was like, we can just handle this. Like, no need to keep passing the buck. Like, let's just get it done. So Elder went over there within days
Yeah.
and got it cleaned up. And Ed said he'd be willing to provide mulch if we needed it, and then I think we ended up, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so, that's
Can we divide something from out here and maybe possibly bring it over?
But we have to look at it and see what it
Okay.
can really take, and
Okay.
if we need to prune some more of the bushes back there, then, just don't wanna create yet another garden at the moment.
No, exactly.
So,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we need to overcomplicate. I almost feel like we keep it clean and neat and tidy
Right.
and maybe not create more work.
And Ed and Sandy have agreed for Amy Smile, we have that mulch, and Amy Smile's a little bit of a complicated garden, because one side of it is Public Works and the other side of it is Park and Rec. And the Tilly Park side of it is Park and Rec. So Ed said he would let Sandy have some of the mulch for Park and Rec, and they could drop a load off there, and then I can have Elder rake it down to really, really thickly mulch that garden, because it takes such a beating over there with that sun. So we'll get that done, and maybe at the same time, you put some of that mulch over by the rock then.
Yeah.
By the memorial plaque.
Okay.
Are you okay coordinating them?
Yeah. There's no wedding this year, just a baby shower. So, also too, he did prune the junipers at Town Hall here,
Okay.
which looks so much better. I would have wanted them to go a little bit more, but we can do that in the next round. He did the garden over at Locust Hill, garden over at Old Farm, Tokeneke and 5 Mile he cleaned up. He cleaned up the Welcome to Darien Exit 11 garden. And then Post Road at 95, which I think might have been the garden at, was that the old paw print garden? I'm not sure.
Okay, that one over, okay.
I'm not sure if that's the garden he was talking about on his note here. And then the Ledge Road garden. So,
What's the ledge?
Oh, the Ledge Road Garden isn't even on our list.
No,
yeah, it should be.
no.
I know, but it's not. It still has a sign on it even. I know, we need to,
Take that sign off, or,
well, I don't,
I think when we looked at it, it
Or
was
I
so
could
far
say-
gone that we decided last year to just.
Oh,
not-
really?
Yeah.
okay. Because it's
Because that one
not-
was professionally landscaped initially by Carol, I can't think of her last name. But, so that one was a beautiful garden at one point. It would be nice, because that is a pretty visible garden. People going to the dump and Whole Foods and getting on the highway there.
So it's
It's almost
it's
across the
I-95
entrance into
south.
Atrium.
when
No,
you
I know
ex-
where it
yeah.
is, because we talked about this a lot
Yeah.
last year.
So, can I just read you back? So, he did Amy Smile, June 1st at Town Hall, Locust Hill, Old Farm.
Tokenique Road at 5 Mile.
Oh, Tokeneck, okay, that's what I missed, thank you.
The exit 11, Welcome to Darien by the Land Rover, or Jaguar dealer rather. Post Road at 95 and then Ledge Road.
And did he
also
mulch
the
them as
memorial.
well?
He didn't mulch them at that point, so.
For the ones he hasn't done yet, can he weed and mulch them on the same date? Because he has probably like 10 left to go, and I worry by the time he does those 10 and goes back to mulch, those are gonna
Yes,
look
I mean-
very weedy.
Yeah. He was just kind of doing the initial so it didn't look god awful. So now he'll go back actually and fine tune and mulch, so.
Do you know when he'll do the remaining gardens?
He does them in between his other jobs, so, because he does have his own business. But they'll usually do 1 or 2 of the gardens on a Saturday. So, and he'll, do one after his other job at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an example of how it's great we have him, because it's better than 4, but we need a business, a crew that can, because I mean, I feel like he's hit them all, but
Well, and I know when
like
we
everything,
met,
like
can't hit
the
them
weeds
again.
come
Yeah.
back, I know.
when we met a month ago, I know he had started, so now it's the couple that are by me haven't been done yet, and so now like another month has passed.
So which ones, Hollow Tree
Hollow
at the bottom of,
Tree, yes, that one.
I was actually thinking about going there to weed that one myself. I noticed that. the other
Yeah.
day.
And the one on Nearwater looks good.
I thought that one looked okay, I drove past
I
it.
can't remember where the other one
Okay.
was.
Oh, and speak of these.
Maybe it was the CVS one or something.
The CVS one could use some
It's
help.
bad.
And actually, the one at Corbin Drive and Locust Hill,
Yeah, that
whatever,
one looks
that
bad.
one's kind of, yeah.
It's got a lot of
It's
milkweed popping.
Is that what that is, that tall thing?
Yeah.
That's milkweed? And is that, I thought those were supposed to
They're
be good for
invasive,
the.
like.
Oh, they are, but,
But they overtake everything, so
Exactly.
yeah, and they just randomly
Spread really
pop up,
quickly,
you know.
too.
Spread
Like,
so
Yes,
quickly.
and they're,
Yeah.
they were, he had, I noticed when he cleaned it, or somebody cleaned
He
it,
did.
there were 3 there left sort of sprouting up,
Yeah.
and now there are multiples.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Okay,
what,
it's like like ants, all of a sudden, there's a whole
Okay.
colony there.
Do we
Okay.
pay him, when you mentioned that he does this like on Saturdays because of his business, do we pay him his, like the same rate other people pay him?
Yeah, we pay him $30 an hour.
Yeah.
He usually works with his wife, so it's $60, but the 2 of them work, so.
So,
But, yeah, he sends me a list of what he's done in his hours. So, he breaks it up from his watering. It's 2 different invoices he sends each month. So. But, one other thing about the gardens too. Frank Kemp, who works for our office for the elections and things, he's also involved with the Power Squadron. And he sent his friend to call me about the garden over at Pear Tree Point, and which we haven't really used as an adopt a garden for a lot of years, but they did get the information about, changing the program and whatnot. And he goes, well, we haven't done anything with that because, we weren't willing to pay all that money, but then nothing happened with it. But we'd like to just clean that garden up and do some planting in there. And I said, absolutely, mulch it, enjoy it.
okay, good, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
I put it out there, but I figured
Good.
a clean
No, it's
garden is a
great.
whole lot better
Think
than
about it,
a crappy
yeah,
looking garden.
absolutely.
So he'd like, when we redo signs, he'd like to make sure he could be included in that process and he'd be willing to contribute to it.
Okay, okay.
that little tiny garden, the entrance is, very close to the train station, but it's the entrance behind all those little shops there across the street from.
yes, by
Dairy.
Good Goods.
Yeah, by
It used to
Good
be
Goods.
the Board of Realtors.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Can he work on that one too?
Yeah, basically all of them
It doesn't
desperately
need
need
that
it.
much work. I mean, it just needs weeding. Or I can go over there this week and do it myself.
I was
and
just,
pruning.
the reason I asked about what we pay him is because if we're paying like his market rate, but he just has to slowly squeeze us in on weekends, I'm just wondering if there's a way if we're a competitive customer of his to get it more completed.
Well, I mean, there's good and bad points to using Elder. Elder is definitely less money than a lot of, big landscapers and things. So, we can certainly pay someone else and pay more, or,
Then that's
Well,
where, once Elder gets
But are
into
we,
that.
but actually,
it's gonna be-
are we able to? Because when I tried to get a mason to do some work, it was like a whole
I know,
process
this
of getting
how-
approved by the town. I
Yeah,
have other
insurance.
landscapers that
Elder
could do
just
$30
kinda
an
goes
hour.
under the,
That's my
radar.
concern, is that can we even get anybody else? Or
They
do we
have-
just
As
have-
long as they're insured, like they used
Yeah,
to
but
use
they
my
have to-
landscaper,
they
but
have
he
to-
went up in price, so now they only use Elder.
they have to carry a lot of insurance now to work on any of
Yes.
the town properties.
Right.
A
Like,
ton.
Yeah.
when I looked at it, the mason was like, they've gotta have insurance on cars and, like, so much insurance. It
Right.
almost makes it unavailable
Yeah.
to any small business.
Yeah.
So
So-
that's the challenge.
That's the challenge. So, I think maybe, until we really relaunch the Adopt a Garden, we kind of have to limp along. So, and I know the three of us have picked up some of the slack as well, and I'm forever out there weeding, doing stuff. And you're back now, so.
Yeah.
And hopefully this weather will break and we can continue on.
Okay.
All right.
All right, anything else on that topic? Okay, moving on in regards to updates on filling our 2 commission spots. Charlotte, who's here attending our meeting, had reached out to us. Charlotte's at UConn, she went to DHS, graduated a couple years ago, so she's from this town, knows this town, understands this town. Currently at UConn studying architectural landscape architecture.
Cool.
Yeah, and she's really interested in being involved, and she and I met for, it was like 2 hours, right? A group picked her brain, we went through every single garden, she's visited all of our gardens, she's had thoughts on them, she's
amazing.
she's
Thank
got
you.
she's got the ability to do use CAD, she's able to do renderings, she's fabulous, and she's lovely. So I did a full court press on like hoping she would join our commission because we would love to have that kind of insight involved. Now she is still, of course, a full-time student up at Stores, but she is interested in moving ahead, I think, I hope, and and started the process working with the DTC. So obviously has to go through the proper approval process, which is still meeting with Board of Selectmen and whatnot. And so.
You cannot was pending on the website.
So I'm hoping that this all works out and that you're still interested and that all works out quickly. And then we'd love to have Charlotte involved. And if that's the case, we'll see whether she's able to attend in person. If not, I could set up a Zoom just like we do sometimes,
Mhm.
in the off season, and you could attend by Zoom, Charlotte, hopefully. So anyway, that's all sort of in the works, which would be great. And as I mentioned, Charlotte and I'll get into that a little bit in the Adopt a Garden part. But so that's that. And then anybody have any thoughts on the other spot or filling that? Does anybody?
One of my neighbors expressed interest, which
Okay.
I did not follow up on because it was just at a recent party, but I will send her some information.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Yeah. And if anybody thinks of anybody,
Are we limited to 9 people?
we are limited to 9 people.
Could we have like a rotational person or like a,
Why?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, more could be better. you know.
I
We're
think
having trouble even getting
yeah.
to the 9.
I know, but I'm saying if we had 9, could we do 10? If we found another person.
I bet that's a process.
I would imagine that would need to get approved by the town. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, they should
Just
just
have that
unofficially.
rotation person be a volunteer.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fine too.
Charlotte, what's your last name?
Samaris.
Could you spell it?
S-I-M-I. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm speaking for you.
Thank you, thanks. Yeah, I saw that, but I don't have it in front of me, so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I live in the dorms, but I'm here for the summer.
Great. Anybody else have anything on that? Okay, moving along to our project, which, let's see. The current status is that Alicia and I were scheduled to meet with the Board of Finance next week. We had a question for them and reached out, and we found out we actually are not on their next. We're not on their agenda for the next meeting. And so that's now been pushed to, I need to review that.
August 19th.
August 19th.
What's the question?
Super convenient time, yeah.
August.
Yeah, and you're gonna, right,
Are you around?
I don't even know.
I don't even know if I'm around either. Okay, so this information came in yesterday. So there's not a whole lot of updates on it, sadly, and honestly, we can't do a whole lot until we get this approval. So Charlotte and I met, we had a great meeting, we have lots of ideas, we've got lots of planning, but until we actually get approval of how we're gonna proceed, I don't know that there's much to add, particularly as far as our fundraising efforts or marketing efforts or anything. So there's not a lot on that. Unless do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we should finalize the name though, so we can put that on those materials, the program name.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
know we've
idea.
all been sitting on it for a couple months, I don't know that another
I
month
thought we
would change
finalized that last
anything.
month, no?
No, we didn't finalize, we haven't voted on it.
Okay.
So last month we discussed Darien Grows, Darien Blooms, and Darien in Bloom. And my guess is that we should probably just, we have 7 here, we should just take a vote and just see how many, I mean, unless anybody wants to give a particular pitch or we can go through it again. And we can just go around the room and vote.
Do you have any ideas, Charlotte?
Yeah, sure. You can't vote, but you can certainly give input. Yeah.
Anything that sounds like.
So to give you a little background, you know the project we're talking about, of course, because you visit all these gardens. We want to give it a name, so when we do our big marketing campaign, it's got some punchy name. And we've had some suggestions and we've had some feedback.
Dr.
and
Garden's just old. Like,
Adopt a Garden sounds old,
Outdated.
it looks old. Yeah, so we think the names that we're currently discussing are Darien Grows, Darien Blooms, or Darien in Bloom.
I mean, I feel like those sound good. I don't know. I
Okay.
can't really think of a name right now.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have any thoughts before we put it to a vote?
The more I look at it, the more I like the name Darien Blooms
Me too.
because it takes on the town the way it's been growing, but it also incorporates the flowers blooming.
Beyond the
Me
literal.
too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my favorite
So
one.
it kind
Mine
of,
as well.
it kind of
Mine
meshes
free.
both worlds.
Okay,
number 4.
all right,
Darien in Bloom, it just sounds like it's a garden
Too many words.
thing.
Yeah,
Only a
yeah.
garden thing.
okay,
Darien
So
Grows,
let-
I think it's too like dispensary
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
connotation.
okay. All right, so I'm all in favor of Darien Blooms. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4.
okay, I
I
think,
like Blue Man Grow.
All right,
but
yeah,
I get it.
same.
The-
All right, well, then, we, everybody's in favor of Darien Blooms. That is
The ayes have it.
our name. The
Darien.
ayes have it.
I'm gonna update that on the website.
Yeah, so there we go.
So there's a
Good
new update.
call, Alicia, that's good. So, Darien Blooms is our campaign name. We will start running with that. You know your person,
That's where I've been working a lot with.
do
on
you
something
think
else
there's
lately.
any chance
That's
she
what I was
could
just
come
thinking in my
up
head.
with a little logo for
Yeah.
us?
Now what would we want?
So anybody have thoughts, like, we could do,
I'll work on that. I'll just do this image.
I think
like,
it should be blue, or
okay.
have
Okay.
significant blue incorporated in it
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
for
It
our
has
town.
to marry
Yes.
with what we currently have a little bit, so they,
the O's could be flowers, or the I could
that'd be
have
so
a
cute.
plant growing out of it, or, I don't know, or bows, I don't know. something along those lines, or it could, or we could have like the S curl back around like a leaf, you know, and the D, something like that, where
It's like
it
a
kind of
vine.
is like a circle with a vine, the
Oh,
D
yeah, or
and
we could have
S.
like a vine growing up
Yeah.
the
Needs to
D
be
or
something-
something.
Something organic,
Mhm.
but simple,
Mhm.
but clean. I thought she did a great job. It was
No,
before
she's
my
very
time,
good.
but I thought she did a great job with
Done some
the,
great work for me.
our beautification logo.
Mhm.
So, and actually maybe it should tie in with the look of that too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely should.
So, yeah, if you don't mind, Amanda,
Of
that'd
course,
be
no,
amazing.
I'd love to.
I have at home those folders that we purchased originally,
Yeah.
which I got the stickers of the Darien Beautification, our current logo. But what I'm thinking is that when this woman does work for you, if she's able to, if we're going to reproduce for a sticker, they needed a certain file format. So
We should
she
get
would
them.
know, but
Yeah.
whatever file formats that they would need for reproduction, if you could ask her for those.
Yeah, you could just do those stickers. She always connects me to New. Get all my.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I just used Etsy when I did it, but we could use Moose certainly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, it's just that I know I needed a certain
Yeah.
file format.
Thank you, guys. On updates on curb repairs, my bad, I said I would reach out to Ed and I have not, so I do not have an update on curb
I think he
repairs.
was out till yesterday.
He was,
anyways.
yes, that's why I didn't reach out to him, I forgot to do it yesterday, so.
Question on curb
yeah.
repairs.
Yeah.
Near Ox Ridge on Mansfield.
That's on the list.
Okay, so that one looks so bad.
Yeah.
But who put those white fences there? Is that an us
So I
thing?
happened to be driving by and I
Okay.
saw a guy doing that.
A random guy?
A random guy,
Okay.
he had a watering can, which was nice.
I
I'm
mean, you
guessing
planted
he-
those rose bushes, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm guessing he must live nearby.
Okay.
Mansfield and Middlesex, is that what you said?
Oxford,
It's Ox Ridge, so it's just after Ox Ridge, it's Mansfield and what is this road?
It'd still be Middlesex.
It's Middlesex,
yeah.
yeah, I think it's the owner of that big
Well, that's
house
lovely.
on,
Okay.
or it used to be, he used to put out these painted rocks at Easter and, I don't know, I think that house sold, so maybe it's the new one, I don't know, but I think
Okay,
it's
I didn't know if it was an us thing or not.
No, yeah. Any
But we own
addition-
that garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We do.
and it's not on any of our lists either.
Oh.
It is.
is it?
Remember,
Is it?
it's on like another, now there's been so many like files. It's on one of them.
Is it? Yeah.
But
Okay.
yes,
It's not top priority, which is okay, because I feel like we may not even be able to tackle all of our gardens
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, if he's doing it. You know, Suzanne Schutte, who lives in that White House right there, she used to be the chair of beautification for
Oh, no
10
way.
years.
Oh,
So maybe it's her.
Who lives in the
who
large
keeps up-
house on the right?
yeah.
Yeah, the white one,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It must have been her husband, I'm
Yeah, it was
guessing.
probably her husband.
Uh-huh.
So I think she's been keeping that up,
Okay.
she and her husband, yeah, which would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Do we have any additional new business?
The only thing I was gonna point out that I thought was interesting is on the most recent town newsletter, it had a reminder in there. I was wondering if someone complained, but saying remove any yard signs, like they're only allowed to be up a week before your event and a week after. Cause there's still a lot of like graduation signs out. I thought that was interesting.
They need to, everybody needs to,
But now that
keep
they-
them up forever, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like remove it, it should be like a rule, like a week
Well,
or
it
two.
technically is, the
It is,
newsletter
yeah.
said that you must remove
Uh-huh.
them a week after your event. So now ever since I found out that was like a town ordinance,
And
I'm
also
driving
just-
around seeing them.
It's a nice thing, schools like to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of, I don't like to advertise where my child's at school, I would never put one out, I don't know, it's just me.
Yeah, there's a lot still out. I just thought it was interesting the town pointed that out to people, but I don't know how many people read those because most are still up.
I wonder how long they, like before an election, people are allowed to put up signs.
Yeah, that
Because
must be, you could
drives
technically
me
do
nuts.
that now, right? And
Yeah, like I've already seen a couple of signs and that drives, like, it gives me a lot of
That's so
anxiety.
I do remember for the election, the last round,
Yeah,
because it is like the signs are like a pet peeve of mine. I do remember, I think that there's like an actual like, you know, some sort of like political law that if it's your, like if I'm running, I need to go and pick up any sign that's
Right.
in support of me.
right.
But yeah, I'm sure those will start popping up soon.
Yeah, but how early can you put them out is the
Yeah.
question.
Oh, we're gonna see them probably, it's September.
Yeah.
So what
Sure.
group is in charge of that? That's not us, is that zoning?
No, that's just
Zoning?
people, it's just,
Probably.
it's either
Zoning, so.
RTC or DTC
I mean-
put out those signs.
Well-
we could reach out to them, ask them, but I don't know what we can do. We can't do it.
No, no, it has nothing to do with us.
I wouldn't get involved.
No.
The graduation.
I'm just
bridge.
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, graduation was last month.
Yeah, I was just curious, that's all.
Any additional new business? Anybody? No? Okay, all right. I adjourn the meeting. I make a motion to adjourn? Is anybody, but for a second, thank you.
We are
You're
adjourned, but I just want to let
Thank you.